Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tarot for May 2025, Tarot for the month ahead. I apologize for being a little bit late. I was supposed to start this half an hour ago, but my computer, for whatever reason, is being so slow. You would think it is Mercury retrograde, but alas, I don't think it is. Anyway, welcome y'all. Welcome y'all. We are in May. Happy belated Beltane to everyone who is celebrating, which was yesterday, May 1st. Personally, I am much more of an equinoxes and solstices person, though in my witchy infancy, I do remember Beltane being one of my absolute favorite witchy moments. So it's interesting how our times, as times change, as we get older, our practice can also change, and what's important to us can also change, and what our holy moments are can also change. All right, so let's just see what is happening for the month of May. And I think I'm also going to pull a few oracle cards from a few different decks. So actually, let me just show you guys which decks I'm going to be pulling from in terms of the oracle cards. Spiritual meaning of birds. I got this in the mail, I think yesterday or the day before. I can't remember, but I'm pretty excited. The backs look like this. So put back in the ones I pulled for myself. And I'll also be pulling a few, maybe one or two from the Lilith Oracle. Totally different vibe. And then to make it even more of a different vibe, I'll also be pulling something from the Angel Numbers deck, which I really like more than I thought I was going to. I've never really been super into the whole angels thing, but this deck is actually really cool, and the messages on each of the cards are really interesting. So let's just leave that to the side for now and see what is it that we need to know about the month of May. How can we have the best possible month of May? What do we need to know? What is the vibe? Last month, April, was a little bit like up and down, a little bit like scattered. That's the energy I felt from last month. Good, some bad, like nothing too cataclysmic, but it definitely was interesting. Picking up the debris from March, I think, many of us. So let's see what May looks like. I can't believe we're already in May. I feel like it was December like 2 minutes ago. I don't know how anyone else feels. All right. What do we have? All right. I'm going to do 3 cards to set the stage. Pretty good so far. What do we do about it? Okay, and then I'm also going to actually, for this month, pull cards for each of the elemental rulings of each of our signs. So for earth folks, air folks, etc. Okay. And hello to whoever was just here. Okay. All right, let's see. So May, we do start off quite interestingly with a few major arcana. And then one minor arcana, which is lovely. So this is the minor arcana for May, just to kind of do a little bit of a quick vibe check on what the energy is for this month. So actually, I'm going to talk about this one first before I do the 2 majors to kind of get us started. So Ace of Swords upright. This card indicates to us that May is going to be a really important month of speaking our truth specifically. And so if there's anything that is on your heart, on your mind, that you feel like it's kind of been tearing you up inside, it's something that you need to say to somebody or somebody's in your life, plural. Maybe there's something in your relationship that has been bugging you that for whatever reason you have just kept inside. This is the month to just let all of that out and bring it out into the open and communicate it so it's not stuck in your throat anymore. And if we do that, we will likely experience some new beginnings this month, which I really, really love. as we all know, swords can murder somebody or they can heal somebody, as with a surgeon kind of cutting someone open to heal some kind of malady that someone has, right? And so we do have to be really careful about our words. So what I'm going to say with this is make sure you're not being an asshole, but at the same time, don't be a doormat. Feel free to stand up for yourself, even if it's a little bit difficult. It's the time to say whatever is on your mind. And again, a new beginning will likely follow if you're able to be true to yourself in that regard. Strength reversed also is a vibe for this month, matched up with the Chariot reverse. So this is quite an interesting pairing, especially since they are one right after the other in the major arcana. Of course, as we know, the Chariot is card 7 and Strength is card 8 in the Rider-Waite-Smith. And so these cards do have some interesting similarities. They are very much about ways of moving forward, and the Chariot reversed likely is reminding us that we have not done as much work as we could have, should have, on really expanding and creating our roadmap for the rest of our life. And so if you're someone who is kind of living month to month or just living in the present moment, living by the seat of your pants, this Chariot reverse card is reminding you, be a little bit more intentional about planning your future. And you might be avoiding planning your future because you might be a little bit pessimistic about what that future might be. Maybe you think, you know what, those types of things are never possible for me, so I'm not even going to dare to daydream about it. No. We don't want to do that right now. We want to actually take the time this month to do some of this big life planning stuff. Figure out where it is you want to go and be really honest with yourself about where you want to go and what your dreams and hopes, etc. are. This is not the time to sell yourself short. This is the time to activate both the yin and yang, the masculine and feminine aspects of self, and use that to be this kind of wind in your sails and push you forward to create a very clear direction for where you want your life to go. If we don't make a clear plan of where we're going, we're just going to end up somewhere random, and chances are you're not really going to love where it is you end up. So this month, what homework do I want to give you guys? So for this month, it's going to be really important to make that roadmap for where you want to go and be honest with yourself. What habits, what actions, what behaviors, what thoughts do you need to be thinking to kind of just push yourself out the door, cross the threshold, and really begin to participate in the creation process of this next season. And you might not know exactly where you want to end up, but you likely have some kind of idea that you've been pushing under the rug or just not giving its full voice. So it could be that, this Ace of Swords is not exclusively about speaking to other people. It can also be about having the courage to be 100% honest with yourself. Everything starts with speaking our truth, being honest 100% to ourselves, and everything else follows from that. We can't be honest with other people if we're not first and foremost honest with ourselves. Journaling is a really great way to just get all of the gunk out of your brain and figure out what it is you really actually want. Super important. So this is a lovely one. We do like this nice yellow pattern we've got here. So get yourself out of the mud, I would say. If anyone is just avoiding that movement, it's like we do have this lovely opportunity to just push ourselves forward in this moment. And so we don't want to be wasting that. You know what I mean? We do not want to be wasting that. We want to be working with the energies that exist in May to create a good plan for our future. And of course, we also got the Strength card reverse. This is interesting. Getting to that point, that future self, it is going to require some self-manipulation and some self-control and some discipline and tenacity. And so this is such an interesting card to come up reverse. I think this can come up when we kind of know what we need to do, but we are a little bit avoiding, perhaps, this self-mastery, self-control, self-manipulation, you could even say. And I know the word manipulation does get a bit of a bad rap, but I don't really mean it in any negative sense with this card showing up reversed. This card is really about taming this wild creature, this wild lion that does exist inside each of us. We are human beings, of course, animals, we're mammals. I think a lot of us often forget that, our connection to the animal kingdom. Very interesting. But with this, we want to make sure that we are engaging in self-mastery and not self-sabotage and not self-deception. We want to make sure that we are creating conditions that will unlock this kind of infinite potential within ourselves, and we're not blocking that from coming through. Really important. All right, so that vibe is pretty interesting. I do think this month, since we do start off with 2 major arcanas, is going to be quite a significant month for many of us. Not in like an emotional explosion kind of way, but more in such a way where we've got this great opportunity to lay the groundwork, to create the foundation for our future success. And so we're really being given a really great opportunity with all of the energy that's flowing around right now. And I think it would serve us to actually work with that energy to create the roadmap for where it is we want to go, and work on our self-discipline to make sure that we have the tools that we need. We're in environments that we need to be in that will support our growth, that will help us curb whatever our self-sabotaging behavior happens to be. And I don't think it's the end of the world. I don't really see anything bad, except for when we get to the cards for the different signs. So we'll get to that later. And hello to the person who is viewing. Feel free to say hello in the chat. All right, so now that we've kind of started off with those few cards that give us a little bit of a vibe check for what the energy for May is actually going to be, what do we do about that? So we do have a ton of reversals here, but interestingly, they are all pretty good cards. So we're going to start off with some reversed pentacles, which is interesting. So we have this reversed 9 of Pentacles, reversed Ace of Pentacles, and reversed 10 of Pentacles. And so if anyone is thinking around any kind of financial beginnings and endings right now, that would not surprise me. That is very much the vibe that we see here. Because interestingly, we do have the 9-10, which goes together, and then the Ace. And so whenever we see 10s and Aces in a reading, that is something I always tend to see as beginnings and endings, the ending of one cycle, the beginning of something else. Like this can be, if you're in business, this can be a pivot. If you have other assets, this can involve, I don't know, like selling things off or just changing your financial situation in some way. This type of thing can also indicate leaving one job, moving on to the next. This can indicate things of this nature. And I don't really see anything bad here. Since we have so many reversed pentacles, I do feel called to say, and it's interesting because we don't see the 4 Pentacles or the 5 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles does tend to be more explicitly about financial hardship. 4 Pentacles very much about hoarding our money towards ourselves. So it is interesting though. So we don't get those cards, which is great. However, these are all reversed. So I do feel the money is coming for a lot of us in May. However, there are certain circumstances that are blocking that for many of us. And so I think how this manifests is going to be a little bit different for each and every one of us in terms of what is blocking the money, how and why is everything blocked, et cetera, et cetera. Just certain things to think about for everyone. I am going to look at these one by one. But they really do kind of want to be read as a group, which I'm finding pretty interesting. So financial beginnings, financial endings. If you are someone who is thinking about switching your investments, I think this would be a good time to do that. Selling, buying property. Again, this is not like legal or official advice in any way. You guys know where you are. There's a tarot reading, so don't sue me. But I do get the vibe that this is a good time to really reconsider where our money is at and what we're doing about that. And so this can be reconsidering your job positions, can be reconsidering perhaps going into entrepreneurship. Maybe you want to keep growing your business. Maybe you want to just completely switch up the structure of it. This is a time of financial beginnings and endings. I know at least here in Canada, taxes were due, I don't know, a few days ago. And so I think that allow that and the insights gleaned from that to give you some additional data on what you want to do with that aspect of your life and your situation. I wouldn't be worried about it though. And again, none of these are financially bad cards. These are all quite nice. I just do think there is some blockages here. I think things need to be rearranged financially to be a little bit better than they are. I don't think we're in dire straits this month. Again, we're not seeing that Five of Pentacles, which is pretty bleak, and we're not seeing the Four, which is like it's time to save right now or else. To the contrary, I would say open your mind up to new financial possibilities, ask for the raise, switch banks if you need to. Maybe you can get a better rate somewhere else. Switch your investments from, I don't know, one thing to another. And again, I'm not an official consultant on that, so consult with whoever you need to cover your ass. But I do think there's more potential for financial growth this month for many of us. However, it's likely to be a little bit of an uphill battle. And I think some of us are going to figure this out and some of us might stay a little bit stuck. But I would say the gold is there to be found this month if we do show up and do some of that work. It's an interesting one. I think it's going to hit everyone a little bit differently. And we've also got the Two of Cups. And so I think it's going to be quite a lovely month for romance and relationships for many of us. If you are partnered, make sure that you are pouring into your partner. If you are single, I think it's a really, really great time to go, I don't know, download the apps, go to meetups, say yes to the party invite from the person you barely know, go to speed dating events, like go to singles events, like go outside and do shit. Because I do think a lot of us are going to be meeting interesting potential romances this month. There is something in the air around romantic partnership. If you're someone for whom romantic partnership is like not interesting whatsoever, you can also read this as really leaning into the relationships in your life where you feel like equals, where you feel like it's a true partnership, where you feel like, how do I phrase this? Where you feel like that person is really pouring into you and you feel replenished and held and healed and just positive whenever you're around this person. And it's also a nudge to notice, how do you show up as a friend? Are you also able to bring that positivity and good vibe into the relationships that you're in? Are you able to help others and heal others through the relationships that you're in? And are you able to get that in return? Are the relationships that you're in reciprocal and beneficial? Mutually. Very, very important thing to consider for this month. So I would say the vibes are actually pretty nice so far, which I really love to see. And before we get to the cards for air signs, fire signs, water signs, and earth signs, I just want to pull a few more things. Like, what else do we need to know for May? As those cards are pretty nice so far. Let's see. Hello, everybody. I'm shuffling. You guys missed the beginning. Sorry. But thank you for being here. Let's see what else we need to know about the month of May. Okay, that is interesting. All right, so honestly, I think the vibes this month are going to be pretty good for a lot of us. This next card that we got is the Ace of Cups, which is a nice underscore to this other card that I was just talking about, this Two of Cups. So I do think it's going to be quite a positive month romantically for a lot of people. For whatever reason, the love is in the air. And so this is definitely an energy to take advantage of, to deepen and strengthen your relationship if you're already partnered. And if you're single, to make sure that you're getting the hell out of the house and just getting into the vicinity of other people. I do think there can be a lot of interesting meet cutes and kind of serendipitous vibes that happen this month. So if that is something that is relevant to you, I would act in accordance with that. And finally, we've got Seven of Pentacles, which is a really interesting counterpoint that bounces off these other Three of Pentacles cards that we pulled earlier, which were all reversed. So this is what those were, just as a little refresher, all showing up reversed. And to finish us off, we have this really lovely Seven of Pentacles. And so, what we can take from this card in particular is that it's really important to stop and smell the roses this month. It can be really easy to feel like we're behind or that we're not quite as far ahead as we would like to be, or maybe our garden, so to speak, financially has not blossomed to the extent that we would like it to. However, we do actually have something to show for ourselves. And so this month, what I would really say financially, focus on gratitude, focus on really appreciating what it is you've been able to cultivate for yourself up until this point. You'll notice that this gentleman is leaning on this wand and just looking over everything that he has created with this garden. So if I was going to give you guys some tarot homework for this month, what I would say is make sure that you are actually taking the time out of your day to just appreciate what it is that you've been able to create in your life so far. It might not be a glorious mansion, but it is yours, and that counts for something. And I think it can be really easy to belittle our accomplishments, not super care about our accomplishments. We get used to it. We take it for granted. So this month, instead of doing that, I think it's going to unlock a lot of blessings financially, specifically, since these are all blocked. If we're able to really, oh, hello, Awas. If we're really able to just appreciate all of this shit that we've, hello, sweetie, come on, Mrs. Awas. Oh, and Laura's saying you started a monthly gratitude list yesterday. That's awesome. So this card is very much about being grateful for the things that you specifically have planted into the ground that have blossomed into something wonderful. So Laura, if you feel like sharing anything that is on your gratitude list, feel free. Oh, I just froze for a second there. Hopefully I didn't freeze for you guys, and hopefully I just froze for myself. But this is very much about giving ourselves props where it's due, making sure that we're being real with ourselves about how much we've actually accomplished. It's so easy to just normalize it and to not give ourselves recognition where it's due, but really we only can create space for more abundance if we appreciate what it is that we're actually responsible for bringing into the world. So I really do like that as a counterpoint. So our next major arcana, and this is going to be the last card I get to before we talk about for the different signs. Let's see, Laura, you're saying yesterday's entry is the new friendships you've made in the last year and cultivating those. That's awesome. Congrats on that. Friendship in adulthood is not an easy thing to cultivate. Everyone's like got kids, off busy doing their thing. Everyone's working. It's like friendship is tough when you're out of university. I don't know how old you are, Laura, but in the 30s, which is where I'm at, and I'm single with no kids, friendship is like interesting because everyone is like married with children. So it's definitely an interesting thing to navigate. It's like not what it was in my early 20s. That's for sure, when it just kind of happened by accident because you're in school or whatever it happens to be, right? All right, so we've got the Devil card as the last major arcana that we're talking about today. And the Devil is really, really interesting because the Devil, we do see, the Devil really reminds me of the Lovers, but there is an echo of the Chariot with this, right? Because we've got this figure kind of facing us. We've got the yin and the yang kind of on either side, which is interesting. But the Devil is all about our vices. It's about our bad habits. It's about our bad coping mechanisms. And so if this is coming up right now, I think a lot of us probably know what this is in regards to ourselves. And so it's going to be really important to just level with ourselves this month and see what we can do to just like get over ourselves and work through whatever this Devil card is kind of calling us out on. It's usually a bad habit like overspending or compulsive sexuality or drinking or something like that, like just a bad habit. It could be doom scrolling the internet, anything that is a bad habit that we know is like kind of toxic, but we do it because that's just how we relax or numb the feelings that are uncomfortable or whatever it happens to be. And so this is just a little bit of a call out to make sure that we're able to be self-reflective enough that we can kick this habit in the bud to make sure that we unblock these two cards. and create space for us to be this kind of best version of ourselves rather than this version of ourselves that is pulled into habits that don't serve us at the end of the day. So I think that's a pretty important message. All right, so let's get into, actually, before I pull on the different signs, I just wanted to pull some oracle cards for us for the month of May. And so first, I'm going to be pulling from the Lilith Oracle. I got this on a Kickstarter. Since I made a Kickstarter for my next book, I was like, I should probably support something on a Kickstarter. If I'm asking everyone to support me on Kickstarter, I should probably support someone else on Kickstarter. So let me just give these a little shuffle and see what is the May vibe. Can't believe it's May. I feel like May is one of the best months. May, June is like not too hot. It's not here. It's like perfect weather. All right. Oh, interesting. It says, and I'll show you guys what it says, but it says, half woman, half snake duality. The dual forces within me unite, integrating my wild spirit with my curious heart. And this reminds me very much of some of the vibe of the strength cards. We do see these dual forces here, right? The human, the animal. Similar energy here, which is kind of cool. All right, so that's one of our cards for the vibe of this month, acknowledging the duality within each of us. I think that's a cool message. That's an important one. Let me just put these back in the box. And I did a walkthrough of this deck too on YouTube if anyone's curious to see the whole thing. All right, so the next one is going to be from this deck, Spiritual Meaning of Birth. So what do we need to know about this month from this deck? What is the bird of the month? Most of my tattoos are birds, weirdly. I don't know how that happened. It wasn't intentional. Okay, Mockingbird. Communication, humor, reflection. And so this reminds me of one of the first cards that we pulled. Ace of Swords. All about communication. And next up, we've got the Angel Numbers deck. So let's see what the message is. I'm going to pull... Okay. This deck is like so huge. It's kind of difficult to shuffle, but this is like excessive. It's like a lot going on in this deck. I do not know how many cards this is. It's like a lot. Okay, so I brought, 3 cards for us. Okay. Ooh, interesting. So I'll read these. But here's the numbers. So 111 screenshot. Pause your thinking and hit the reset button. Think of the universe as taking a screenshot of your frame of mind right now. Everything that is going on, all of your thoughts, feelings, goals, and dreams are going to be replicated. Get on a high vibe quickly so you can manifest your best life moving forward. Recall a positive memory that stirs an emotion such as love, peace, or gratitude right now in full and living color. Interesting. All right. 291, it says set priorities. Say no to distractions moving forward. Immediate action is required. Your angels call you to prioritize what you want. There are many distractions around you presently, and the challenge is to keep your mind set on your true desire. Eliminate the distractions today by postponing or declining anything that isn't essential. I'm going to keep this one out for myself. All right, equilibrium is the last one. Okay, nurture the mind, body, and spirit connection. Your angels are asking you to balance yourself. What area of your life feels out of alignment? Get a meditation practice going, embark on a workout routine, or finally start that vision board you've been procrastinating on. Your angels want you to look at the areas of your life that are not fully rounded out and self-correct. It's also the vibe of May. Okay, so now I've got some cards for each of the elements for the signs. So that is air, fire, water, and earth. And so how this is going to be is, of course, the air signs are Aquarius, Gemini, oh my God, what else? Libra. The fire signs are Sag, like me, Aries, Leo. The water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. The earth signs are Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. Okay, so depending on wherever you're at, you guys know. All right, so the air signs for May. Six of Cups. So this is an interesting one. I do see this very much as a childhood loops card, or depending on the context, a childhood trauma card. So for the air signs, and again, those are Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini, what you're going to want to think about this month is the ways that you're in patterns that bring you back to someone that you were in childhood. And this can be for the positive or the negative, though usually when we're in our adult phase of life, using childhood loops usually isn't going to get us to where we want to go, because as adults, we're no longer children. And often those loops came into being for reasons that are not always the healthiest. Usually it's survival loop. However, it's not reversed, so you guys probably know exactly what it is I'm talking about when it comes to this. And so I don't see this as the end of the world. It's just an opportunity to interrogate those loops that you're in and see if any of those need to be retired. Are those still serving you, or are they just holding you back? Are they keeping you in a nostalgic, childlike mindset that ultimately is divorcing you from your potential as an adult human being? That's something to think about for my air signs. So for my fire signs, I'm depressed because I'm a fire sign. So, oh, hi, Bella. Okay, so for my fire signs, Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries. This is not fun, and I'm a fire sign myself, so I'm not super happy to see this. All right, so for the fire signs, it's going to be time to really put some things to bed this month. That we're going to want to end what needs to end, block the people that need to be blocked, finish the projects that are halfway done, tie up any loose ends. I think I know exactly what this is about for myself, and for any fire signs that are listening, make sure that you end what needs to be done. So finish the writing project, submit the application, break up with that person, do whatever you need to do to make sure that everything is done. The unfinished business is done, and it's time for you to move the fuck on with your life. So tie up loose ends, finish the projects, just get it done. And I think that this is likely related to one of our first cards here at the beginning of the reading. Finish up what needs to be finished. Stop blocking yourself. Just get it the fuck done so it can be done and you can move on. And I definitely needed to hear that. All right, so for my water sign, so again, this is going to be our Pisces, Scorpio, and oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Pisces, Scorpio. Why is my brain dead right now? I need another coffee, clearly. You guys know. You guys know. My 3 water signs. Justice. Okay. Oh, Cancer, obviously. Okay, so my water sign people. Are we going by sun signs? Yes. So for my water sign people, justice reverse, you likely have experienced some kind of very unfair thing. One of my cats is puking. Lovely. Hey, Wise, don't puke on the couch. I remember I was doing a really intense reading for someone at one point at my old place in person, and this, the person I was reading for told me the most horrific stuff, and I was consoling her, and then as she was telling me the worst stuff, and we were getting into a really hardcore reading, one of my cats literally just puked on right behind her. I was just I'm so sorry. Actually, she did not puke, so that's great. She just sounded like she was going to. Cats. Okay, anyway, so for my water sign people, you've likely experienced some kind of injustice in your vicinity lately. And so what I would say is it's important for you to stand up for yourself and not let yourself be bulldozed, whatever the hell it was that happened. If something is unjust, are you really going to let that fly? Like, I think since this is reversed, I think some of you water signs are going to be pushing it under the rug, or like, oh, it wasn't really that bad. Is it really worth the fight? And like, fair enough, you guys can all make up your own mind. But since this is a major arcana and not something else, I do think it's worth standing up for yourself in whatever realm you need to do that, likely in some kind of official capacity. This can show up as standing up for yourself in a relationship. This can look like asking for someone to pay you back the money they owe you, or if you feel like you are mistreated in the workplace, like complaining to your boss or supervisor, or like whatever. But the point is, if you've experienced an injustice, it's important for you to stand up for yourself and correct the situation to the best of your ability. All right, so for my earth signs, and so that's going to be Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, 9 of Wands, and this is actually the only Wands card in the entire reading today, which is interesting. So for my earth sign people, you guys have probably been through the ringer lately. You're probably fucking exhausted, and I totally get it. And you might be feeling like you've been needing to be constantly vigilant over your situation. And that's likely true. That's likely justified since this card is coming up upright. However, make sure that you are not completely abandoning your intuition and that your intuitive skills have not gone by the wayside as a result of this situation. So make sure that you're not overreacting, make sure that you're not underreacting, and make sure that you're not moving from trauma, that you're moving from intuition. Did you notice a little bandage on his head? Because it can be possible to overly act, overly correct. So save some of that energy reserve for yourself. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Laura. Great reminder, moving from intuition. Yeah. Because sometimes people want to just like knee-jerk react to everything. And on one hand, like sometimes that's necessary. But you'll notice again, his little third eye is wounded. And so we don't love that. We don't love that. So balance that out, right? That need for vigilance, but also the need to listen to our intuition. That's going to be a really important thing. Okay. I like that, you guys. That's the reading. That's the reading. And for anyone who is here, actually, maybe I'll pull some cards for just you guys as a thank you for showing up. All right, Bella and Lur, you guys are still here, yeah? Whoever else is here, feel free to let me know in the chat. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a tarot card for you guys and an angel number card for you guys. Okay, Lur, so you're you first since you're popping off in the chat. Okay, here's a card for you. Let me just give these a little shuffle. Oh, yay, Bella. Hello. Glad that you're here. Okay. This is for Lur. Oh my God. So Lur, I don't know what you're going through right now. 10 of Wands, but you're probably so exhausted. Make sure that you take some of this shit off your plate so you can actually see where the hell you're going. Because right now you can't see where you're going, and I don't love that for you. So like, put some of these wands down. It's time to delegate some shit and say no to people. And since you're typing in the chat, oof, I'm assuming that hits you where it needs to hit you. So like, put down some shit, man. You don't need to carry all of this stuff. Like, there needs to be people helping you with your shit. And like, if there's not, then just drop the ball and everyone else can just deal with it. Like, allow the hot potato to drop. The world is not going to end. Like, honestly, take some of that stuff off your plate if you can. Oop. I got a dropping card. Okay, this is for you, Lur. 673. It says, 5th dimensional thinking is time to level up. Your angels want you to level your thinking up to the 5th dimension. I have no idea what that means. You are stuck in mundane struggles and material world values. Reframe your thoughts, keeping the big picture in view. Connect to your purpose and the valuable lessons you are learning at this very moment. Draw another card with an intention for guidance as to your next step. So I guess you get another card, Lur. So we got these two for you so far. And so let me just give these a shuffle again, since this told us to draw another card. It feels like a game. It's like, draw another card, do not pass go, go straight to jail or whatever. What game is that? Monopoly? I don't know. I don't play board games, so I don't know. Okay, so this is for Lur again. Ruminate. 500. Is it worth the risk? Your angels acknowledge that you are losing your patience with a situation that isn't changing. They are guarding you against rash decisions made on a whim. You don't have to make a choice today. Give yourself time to ponder what you should do next. Reflect and perhaps journal on the feelings of dissatisfaction you have. What do they mean at a surface level, and how do they play into patterns of your past? So these are for you. Hopefully that's useful. And it does work with the 10 of Wands, doesn't it? This is kind of why I really like pulling from like different decks at the same time and just like seeing what happens. That's kind of fun. Okay, Bella, it's your turn. And Lur, let us know, how does that hit? No problem. Okay, Bella, this is for you. Let's see what we got. Give these a little shuffle. And Lur says it definitely hits. Okay, good. Good. All right. Okay, and then Bella, I'm also, before I show you this, I'm going to see what the angel card is. I'm also getting that I need to pull two for you. Okay, so for Bella, 5 of Swords. So fights. Make sure that the fights you're in are not pointless fights. Make sure they're actually getting you where they need to go. Your energy is likely being like energy vampired away by like stupid drama that is holding you back. So if you are going to fight, make sure that it's like done and you like end it, so that whatever the stupid drama is like doesn't keep popping up, and that you don't get like sucked into other people's drama webs. We don't like the drama webs. And I'm going to say more on that, maybe. We'll see. But then the 2 angel cards for you, Bella, are passion. Follow your interests. And I'll read this. It says, you're being called to master a talent you already own. The thing you do that comes so naturally to you is your gift. These passions are given to you so as to make your life meaningful for yourself and for others. Find the inspiration to pursue your gifts in your daily life. Consider a few ways you can have fun with your talents today, no matter how small or trivial they may seem. Oh, Bella, your grandma trying to get you back into her life. Eye roll emoji. Yeah, that sounds annoying. So I would say just like hold off. And then also for you, Bella, new opportunities. It says make a positive change. Your angels are pushing you towards the change you need to make. When you are excited about new opportunities and people coming your way, good things will arrive. This, like, from what I know that you're going through, this like seems legit. You are being encouraged to focus on the positives in new situations and to look forward to the challenges that will inevitably come with them. Listen to a song that empowers you right now as you let yourself feel inspired and excited for what is to come. So I think this was kind of fun. It's a fun combo. I like that. Okay, I think that's all of y'all that are here live. I was so late and did not really announce this, but hopefully that hits in a useful way. Okay, y'all, that's the reading. That's the reading. Oop. I just dropped some. Let's see. Okay, since I just dropped these, I am going to read them. Bella, you're saying you don't know why you keep getting conflicted energy for your jobs. Whenever that happens to me in a reading, or a series of readings, what it usually means is that the choice doesn't really matter. It's like either one would be fine, is usually what happens, or how I interpret it when that happens. It's like either choice is fine. Like they're each going to have its positives and negatives. It's not going to be a make or break depending on what you choose. That's usually how I kind of see that. And I just dropped these, so I'm going to read them before we go. So it says 911 is light worker. You're being called upon. Your angels call upon you to use your spiritual development to inspire others. How cute. You possess the gifts of spirit to remind people that the higher power rests inside them. The time is now to make changes in your life work so as to carry out this divine calling. Reflect on how you can contribute to the healing of the world around you. And then this is nice. 924, farewell. Look fondly on what was. It's okay to look back on the past with a thankful heart. Your angels see that you are letting go of things that once served you well, and they remind you that it's necessary to do so. Take a few moments now and connect to your angels as you visualize their loving light grounding you. Send your angels and yourself gratitude as you let go of the past. There we go. Oh, hello, Stig. You are logging on as we're logging off. So you'll have to watch the replay, my friend. But it's so fun to do this. Thanks, you guys. Thanks, you guys. I think I'm going to do a walkthrough of one of my new decks next, but I'm going to like log off and then restart the video because the lighting is good. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So if anyone does want to keep watching, that's, I think, the plan. I already did the Lilith Oracle, so we'll see. Okay, everyone, have a lovely month of May. Hopefully these cards are useful and interesting. And feel free to, like, what I usually like to do is watch it a few times throughout the month just to kind of refresh. Oh, yeah, what is the theme of this month? What's the energy of this month? Oh, and thank you, Bella. Yeah, it's really good. It's just natural light. So I always like to film in natural light. I don't know what it is. I don't like fake light, which is why I'm always only filming during the day rather than at nighttime. But okay, thank you everyone for being here. I appreciate you guys. I'll probably pop on Instagram for a little while in a second, but I think since I like this lighting, I am going to do a deck walkthrough. Probably one of the Oracle decks. Okay, y'all. That's it for now. Bye. Oh, yeah, and before I go, watch the April reading so you can kind of reflect on how your month was last April. I find like that can be really useful to watch the reading for the month at the beginning of the month and at least the end, because then you can be like, oh, yeah, that happened, or like this is how that card manifested for me, etc., etc. All right, y'all. See you soon. Bye.